think around a month since last time we were on call, right? I think so, at least.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Well,
It's
welcome
been a
back. It's been a little bit, so it's good to see you. And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the stream. Once the stream actually decides to exist, it's having difficulties thinking about it. Do. There we go. All right. It's been a little bit since I've looked at your backstory thing, so I'm probably going to, at least to some degree, get your parents somewhat wrong. So, fair warning.
all good.
And I'll do my intro real quick. Um, Hello and welcome, dear patrons, to the Tables of Tartarus, a chapter of Purgatory Corner. I'm your storyteller, Sinspeaks, and today we shall be continuing the tale of shifting fates, but this time in a small mini story, like Ellie did. Go on in, take a seat, and let your imagination run free. Alright, today we're here with Rowena. Hi. As
Hello,
we
hello.
attempt to figure out what she's been doing for technically the last day and a half that she has available to her. Technically 3 days, but it took roughly a day and a half ish to get all the way to the Citadel. Um, as you make your way back, it is a very familiar sight to you at this point, although it's been how many days was it? 13th to 28th. About 15 days or a little over 2 weeks since the last time you were in the Citadel. Which actually I think falls pretty close to the, I think, 2 to 4 weeks you were given to do your mission. Weird how
Indeed,
that,
I think it's
yeah. Kind of funny how that turns out. I legitimately was thinking that we had been going like a little bit too quickly, but then like Ellie and I looked through all the stuff, and yeah, y'all started like March 13th and finished March 30th from last episode, which is like 17 days. I'm like, wow, I didn't realize y'all had actually went through 17 days yet. It's very fun
yeah, I
to
didn't
see.
know the exact uh amount of days, but I was like, I feel like I need to get going. Like I need to.
Yeah. But you're making fairly good time actually. And so you eventually, I believe you were marking down a path as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you start marking down your path as you head towards the Citadel, and you eventually do get there. As you walk, there's like a right about here, right at the corner of the map. There is essentially a small, well, not small, relatively small, clearing, and that's where the Citadel is placed smack dab in the middle of. It's a clearing where at the very edge of that clearing is just massive 400-foot some tall trees, easily around the same size as the very top of the Citadel itself. But this specific section of the area actually has no trees blocking any of the sunlight. So it is fairly hot in the Citadel. It's about 90, 92 degrees at the moment, considering you got there, I believe, around noonish. So it's a fairly hot day. It reminds you of home because it is. But you do in fact see the majestic sight of this massive fucking tower, and you do know that roughly right here, right near the top, it's actually done better with my red instead of my black. That's better to see. Right there is roughly where the upperclassmen, the military folks, you and your father, and the other, not royalty per se, but like higher ups, that's generally where they tend to live. It's just this top portion. This section in the middle here is where most of the commoners live, which is primarily humans and half elves. Most non-elves do not get to go up into the citadel itself. Instead, they're in the common realms, because unless they are half elves of more or less royal blood or military-based blood, as this is also the military commons too. And then down here in this massive area is the slums. I believe you've never been to the slums, if I remember correctly, right?
I have not.
Okay. Yeah. There is a path that you know leads to the slums because you've been told about it hundreds of times by your fellow companions. Just right down here, right next to this bridge, is a path that goes downwards. And then near the base of this area right here, there's a fairly large hole in the I guess, wall that looks big enough for about 2 wagons to pass through shoulder by shoulder fairly easily. And that is the commonly known entrance of the slums. You are appearing. Where are you? There you are. Right about there.
Okay.
There are also some watchtowers, roughly right here and right here, which you know is where most people, well, most of your fellow guards often would sit. Sometimes fall asleep at. You found that both probably infuriating and funny, considering. So you know that you can get their attention by honestly just shouting if you really need to. But yeah, they exist right there.
Well, I'm
So,
definitely gonna start heading in
okay.
to where I live, the house. I'll
Nice.
go speak with my mom.
Speak with your mom. Yeah, so you go pretty much through the entrance. No one stops you. You are fairly aware of the general practices of this spot. I assume you've probably gone through it multiple times yourself. If they are elven, half elves, or humans, generally speaking, they can cross the bridge. No one will blink an eye. If they are otherwise races, they can get up to the bridge, but no further. Otherwise, either arrows will rain down on them, guards will pop up in front of the gates. Just not a good plan. But since you're half elf, or honestly at this distance probably seen as human, but the elves make it half elf. As you're walking up, no one tries to stop you. No one really interferes or anything like that. In fact, you don't really see a single face as you go through. As you're slowly climbing the area, you can see it looks just as you imagine it to. This common grounds area is at a slope. As you are walking up the slope left and right, there are buildings upon buildings, usually formed to be part of it is at an angle and the rest is flat. That way people can live in them, but it's like pressed against the natural slope of the earth here. Most of the doors seem to be locked or closed. You see a couple of shop owners trying to sell their wares. Considering your background in this area and how much you've talked with a lot of the other military folks, the common area is meant to be seen as a really kind of open area for the most part, but it tends to be kind of like the more shady deals go on here. So folks like you who are military or scouts or anything like that tend not to get the warmest reception down here. And you know they tend to have very frequent interactions with the slums as well. It's one of the ways that they stay in business. So most of the area is pretty much just kind of closed off to you, rather cold vibe. As you go further and further up, it starts to get figuratively and quite literally brighter as you go up and up. You see probably some folks that you've known, shop owners that you dealt with as you're starting to cross from the common area up to the citadel proper. Folks that you've probably interacted with, shopkeepers you've probably dealt with, random folks who kind of just wave to you. More guards are showing up, kind of lining the roads, walking the area. This seems to be a lot more heavily protected of the area. But again, no one seems to really bat an eye at the fact that you're there. A couple of the guards kind of look at you and then just kind of gesture you to keep going. It seems like everyone is on rather high alert at the moment for some reason. Feel free to roll me a perception check if you would.
I was just about to ask if any of the guards look familiar or what? month, and I'm like, how do I roll? Let's see.
If you guys are hearing anything on my mic, I do apologize. The fire truck is assigned to be a jerk.
It's just normal
11.
perception.
Okay. Yeah, so you're not really seeing anything too interesting. They do look on high alert. You don't really see any of your military buddies. All the folks here seem to actually be fairly new. I see a couple of them aren't really sticking to their normal regimen. A couple of them are going so far as not even have their helmets on in some cases. But you really don't recognize any of these faces or really why they're down here. Most of the time, the guards are pretty much just solely inside of the citadel itself, because that's usually where they're needed. Sometimes they'll move down here, but it's kind of rare. But there is just like a tension in the air for the most part.
I think I'm going to take a sidetrack, go to the actual barracks first. Okay. See my mom later.
So your barracks is going to be over here, roughly. They're kind of in the lower regions of the citadel, which is where a lot of the military folks are. It goes like military, and then nobles, and then high military. And that way they can separate things fairly easily. It also makes it so there's pretty much the nobles get sandwiched between both military forces, and that way they can protect them from both ends if needed. But you start heading off towards the barracks. As you walk in there, you do see a couple of friendly faces, which I will now look back in our chat. So I can remember them. There they are. Yeah, so you see one of them, he's just kind of like running around constantly, pulling out who knows what kind of food, just constantly moving around trying to offer food to folks, some of which are not super friendly to him, some of which are fairly friendly, and most of them take his food anyways. This is your friend. I don't know how to say his name, but it's Pancake.
Yay! I thought so.
Feel free to say his name. I don't know how to phrase that.
Well, his full name is Aleon Rafinas.
Aleon, okay. Oh yeah, you have the pronunciation right below. I'm dumb. But yeah, so Aleon is rushing back and forth constantly. You don't see any of your other friends, but he's just rushing, looking winded as hell. He has a quarterstaff on his back that he doesn't seem to be really minding too much. He doesn't seem to notice you as he is running between like 6 people at the moment.
Okay. So, just to give a little bit of a description, I guess. Rowena, she doesn't really smile. She's more of a straight-faced person. She doesn't frown. Just like a regular kind of just set face. But seeing Pancake, he actually smiles. Like,
aww,
she hasn't smiled yet in this campaign, but now seeing it sounds weird because of course like the group is also her friends, but they haven't been through the same stuff, you know. Pancake I've been through boot camp with. Anyway, I'll yell out, Pancake!
He like turns his head and looks at you. He's holding like 2 jugs in his hands and like a plate sandwiched between them as he like turns to you and he's like, Ruina! Hi.
Hey!
Let me, hold
Come
on.
put it down. I have questions. Put it down.
But you, you hold these, please. And he just kind of like dumps them on, dude. This guy looks like a greenhorn. You've never seen this guy before, and he does not look like he's been here for very long. As this shit is just kind of like piled onto him, he's like, help.
He's got this. It's perfectly easy to serving food. Anyway. Pancake. Come here.
He kind of like walks over to you a little bit timidly. He's just like, yeah. What's up? Wait, why are you back? Wait, are you back? I thought you were
Yes, I'm
gone.
back. I was.
Oh.
You know, on a mission.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like dusts her shoulders off, like, completed it, you know?
Nice. You always probably the best of us, I think. Braille would probably kill me if I said that. But it's okay.
Listen. He, deep down in his heart, he knows that I'm better than him. Okay? No
Be
worries.
sure to
No.
fix whatever stab wounds that you have when you tell him that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I did get in a little bit of a fight before I left. I kind of left in a hurry. She kind of shows off. She's only at 30 out of 50 health right now.
Ooh. Let me
But it
just,
doesn't matter.
he kind of like reaches into his bag, which you notice is actually a bag of holding as he like reaches into it. He like sticks his entire like forearm in there. Oh, and wait, no, that's flying. Jiggle.
Oh, I flew.
No,
That's an interesting
you
story. I'll have
flew,
to tell you
really?
about it later. Yes.
Ah, he pulls out like a superior health potion. He's like, here you go, drink it.
Uh, okay.
The one time that this man is ever, I don't know what's the word, forceful is when he's telling you to heal. It's like, oh, if you know want to drink it.
100%, I'm totally drinking it. She just like
Cool.
pops up the top, you know.
Feels much nicer now that you are less wounded.
I'm just gonna leave my health as it is right now.
You're fine.
I'm sure I'll get a long rest in just a couple of
It's like, so
moments.
why you back? Why you back here? Thought you were up with the peeps. I've been
Oh,
getting taught new stuff by the kids, you know.
any more incidents with, you know, falling flat on your face?
Well, you know, a couple times, and by that I
It's
mean
getting.
daily.
Okay, never mind. Do you think you'll ever be able to get it under control so that you can like come out on a mission?
I'm good with fixing you.
It's true. Okay.
I
As long as you're my backup, you know.
you know, yeah, protect me and I'll keep you standing.
Love it. Love to hear it.
Make you good food.
Where?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Oh, good food. You should meet someone that I've met. Where are the others? Because I kind of have, I don't know if you'll know everything I have questions about. Like what's going on here? Why is everyone on such high alert?
Oh, have you not talked to your dad? Sorry,
I
commanding
did,
officer.
I did a little, but it was mostly just to come back here.
Oh, yeah. So things have been kind of ramping up a little bit right lately. Tensions are high. The slum is having some issues, and we don't really know what they are.
So they're having more issues than usual.
Yeah, something's going on down there. Some of the higher ups are hearing some rumors, and it's not looking very good. But we don't know what it is, and I'll be honest, we've been getting new recruits like crazy, and he kind of like looks at one of them who is just kind of like poking a wall. They
Not
not being
the
trained
best.
too well. Yeah. We don't really have the folks to train them because all the other folks are like doing the business of like walking around, and a couple of them gone down to the slums. They haven't come back up yet, so
Oh goodness.
you able to train some by any chance? Be only
In
like 2 months out of your day.
I'm not a teacher. I'm not a teacher. I don't teach. I just
Oh,
learn and I'm good at doing. I'm not good at teaching. I'm sorry.
I wish they were good at either. But yeah, especially as the last couple days. boss man has been like, gotta give as many fit folks as we can. Give them a sword, teach them how to swing. Got prep. Something big's going down soon.
Most definitely.
But I don't know much about past that. They don't really tell me anything. I just hear mutterings. Crayfin. Is it Crayfane? Fane?
Cryphaean. Yeah.
Cryphaean. Cryphaean is a little bit higher up, but she's currently in the slums.
They sent. Okay. No, she's good at sneaking. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why she's down there. They figure that if they can not spot her, she won't die.
That's true. I mean, she taught me what I knew, and they sent me out. My important mission.
So they're putting a lot of faith into her sneaking ability. Braille, on the other hand, well, he's mostly training folks in the upper region at the moment. Yeah.
So there's no real information on what exactly is going on down there.
Nope, got nothing. They won't tell us anything. They won't tell most of the folks down here anything, actually. They just say, be on your guard, and if you die, you die. Well, except for the nobles. They don't tell the nobles that. They tell them, we'll protect you. You got this.
Well, of course. I'm gonna look around. It's kind of like the mess hall, right? So it's kind of crowded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of people just kind of going, grabbing food. Some of them look pissed off. Some of them look like they're juggling some food. Like, there's a lot of, like, jokers and slackers, and some people sleep, and it's just kind of a mess. I'm really the only higher up that's here at the moment, you know?
Okay, then just, like, lock the doors when we leave. Come on, you're gonna take a break for a moment. Come on.
But I have, but
Come on!
Okay. He like steps outside. He's like, okay, locking the door. How do I do that again? Put this latch here.
Yeah.
This latch here, and then you spin this around. Okay, I think it's either locked or it's broken. It's one of those two.
You know what? Either works. I just want to talk to you. Like, in secret, just a little bit off to the side. Do you know a place?
Is this a secret mission?
It's not really a secret mission, no, but it's definitely secret information from my mission.
Wait. Yeah. Did you do something bad?
No.
Oh, okay. What did you do?
Not me. I did my mission.
Ah. Wait, why is it secret?
Quiet place. Where?
Right, sorry. Why is it secret if you did your mission?
Because I haven't turned anyone yet. This is the first place I've gotten. He's just gonna pull him away. Try and find the secret place because Pancake isn't finding it.
You eventually just kind of move into a small area. Definitely obscured. A lot of people tend to use the spot as either a punching ground, a makeout spot, or potentially where people die. Depends on the day, the location, and who they are.
Sounds about right.
It's like, am I going to die?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not when I'm here. Okay, listen to me.
Uh-huh. I'm listening.
Sorry, it's hard. It's hard for me to do this. I'm supposed to report back first, but I don't want my friends getting hurt.
Okay.
I think it's going to be something big there's a resistance. There's a resistance movement in the slums.
There's resistance? Resistance to what? Do they not like our food?
Oh, I'm sure they would love your food, Pancake. But they don't like how, I guess, the Citadel is run? Which is weird because, I think my father does pretty well, don't you?
Is he a half elf or a full elf?
Oh, he's full.
Okay. He's something like, yes? think
That
that's the
doesn't sound
correct.
very convicted. Come on.
Well, yeah, yes. He's doing a fantastic job with shoving people into the mess hall. That's really all I've seen so far lately. I mean, we're trained. I'm trained, probably. We're gonna
Yeah.
beat the orcs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of that, I saw some. Oh,
Oh, were they
goodness,
rough
they're
and tumble?
sniffing.
Did they hurt you? Well, you still have your arms.
Yes, indeed, I still do.
They didn't beat you with your own arms?
No, no,
Oh.
I kind of beat them, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Did you beat
I
them with
got my.
their own arms?
No, no,
Oh.
I didn't. I'm not that brutal.
Oh, okay.
Uh, Yet. Don't tell Brayro. Okay, I am brutal.
I stabbed my fucking weapon through their insides, down their throat. I'm not that brutal.
Ripped off their arms with my arms, you know. I just like I have to use my arrows. I'm not that strong yet.
And he's
I'm
like,
I'm good with the bow, you know, with these muscles. And she points out like the back muscles and like her arms. Like I'm
you
just
do have very defined back muscles. Yeah.
thank
Yeah.
you. Getting off track.
Right, yeah, yeah. Did you say something about
Where
resistance?
your assistance? Yes.
That sounds kind of rough.
I don't know exactly when it's going to happen. But the thing is, it's kind of weird.
Uh-huh.
I hate orcs. I hate them. You know, we both do. They're horrible things.
Yeah, they eat their own babies and they punch people in the face for no reason. I mean, they don't
We've
like
all
pancakes
Ugh. Or waffles.
or
Which, you know,
waffles. How
I know,
cruel
right?
must you be to hate waffles?
But
Ah,
what I'm trying to say here is
uh,
when I left Helios and I was in the Grey Lands,
uh-huh.
I don't know. It's hard to explain. I felt a little different.
Were you hungry?
Always.
Oh.
There's nothing that compares to your cooking pancake.
Ah, yeah, yeah. He kind of reaches into his bag again and hands you a thing of bread for your trouble.
Did you make this?
Yeah, I have a bunch of my cooking stuff in here. He kind of like opens his bag a little bit, and there's just a black hole because it's a bag of holding. He's like, I have a bunch of my. Oh, if you
It's
could
okay.
feel in there, you could feel a lot of it.
I believe you. I don't want to get it all messed up. I'm sure you know where everything is.
Probably.
She said with doubt in her voice.
So you
I don't.
changed. Did you grow
Yeah, I
wings?
don't know. No, but
Oh.
I did fly. That's a story. But I want everyone here for that one.
That sounds super cool.
It was really cool. And I got. She stops herself.
Treasure? A long lost love?
No,
You found someone to love? Oh my god.
no,
Oh.
no. I found someone to hate. I'm having a hard time talking about it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you found a hate love. Aw. I
No,
want one of those.
no,
Oh
no.
no?
Not even close.
Arch nemesis?
Possibly.
Oh. Braille's gonna be very
Arch
sad by
nemesis.
that.
It's not. He's just a friendly rival, you know.
So you found another friendly rival?
No,
Oh.
not friendly.
I'm getting a lot of mixed signals here.
I know, it's so hard to explain because it's so different when you go to. I don't know, you've never really experienced it.
Yeah.
You feel different. Like, not as convinced that the orcs are as bad as they are.
He kind of like looks up for a second, like really hard thinking. He's like, what would that
Got
be
I believe in
like?
you. Come on. Got to know. Like, just.
Maybe if they liked pancakes, I could get over the eating the own children thing.
I don't. Honestly, I don't think All of them do.
What?
And then she covers her mouth.
What? What?
Yeah,
They
I
don't
know.
all eat their own children? Whoa.
I don't think they're all bad.
What?
I
But
know.
but they kill people.
I don't know. It's a really weird feeling. Like
They-
I feel more like I hate them now that I'm back and I'm like in business, you know.
I thought you killed some. Did you find this after you killed them, or like before you killed them, or like did they plead to you like, oh, please don't kill me, I like pancakes?
No,
Oh,
it didn't really plead at all. It was more like I don't know, just experiencing, I guess, where they are. Kind
huh.
of made me think in their shoes in a way. There was a whole camp. It's a whole camp or like town, little village that they were
Wow.
kind of a resistance over that, you know?
They had their own resistance. Were they resisting their own baby-eating ideas? Whoa.
Yeah, exactly.
What? I didn't know they could do
Oh,
that.
and there were humans there as well.
No, the humans? Wait, like
And
our
they weren't dead.
humans?
Yeah.
Huh.
And here's the craziest thing out of all of this. Like, I fought orcs, you know, killed them.
Did you kill any of the humans?
No?
Oh.
No.
I can totally see a human being with an orc, to be honest, but like, it's kind
Yeah.
of odd.
The craziest thing. Like,
Huh.
I was hanging out at this place before I completed my mission of, you know, seeing how big the army was and what was actually like kind of going on, where they were, and they're traversing to like the Trail of Bloody Tears and everything.
You saw the trail? Was as cool as you thought it was?
It was a sight to see.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to see it one day.
I don't want you to, but
Aww.
moving on. What I want to say is,
Uh-huh.
why is this hard to say? Maybe I was just. She's slaps her cheeks. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it. Just say it.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh, uh-huh,
I was
uh-huh.
traveling with the tiefling.
Huh? Wait, like the weird, the necromancer kind of folk?
Yeah, but I don't think he was. I guess. I think he's still alive, so I don't think he is.
A non-necromancer woman, you are blowing my mind. He like makes like tiny like explosion things with his hands. Like, wow.
It's ridiculous. It's crazy. But you're saying that there hasn't been any inkling in the ranks or in the higher ups that you know of about something big happening from the resistance? Do you know if they know there's a resistance?
I don't know. I'm not really part of those discussions. I mostly deal with whether or not people are going crazy. And I must say, not many people going crazy. The lower areas are still kind of slumming it down.
Of course, yeah.
You know,
Can Rowena look around, double check, like make sure no one's overhearing everything?
roll me perception.
Okay. I should have done this a little bit ago before I said I was traveling with the tiefling. Hey!
You are vaguely certain that there is someone a distance away from you, but not close enough to hear you.
Well, where is Brayville teaching? Ugh, why did they choose him as a teacher?
Well, he was really good at hurting people. Mostly with the spear, not verbally.
Yeah.
Well, I guess kind of verbally.
Maybe.
Less so verbally now, you know? Mostly it just smacks them.
You
It's
know,
kind of fun to watch, actually.
It's actually a good choice sending me out on a mission, having him teach. That makes more sense. Yeah, I'm not good at teaching.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, your dad specifically chose him. I don't know why. They talk a
Oh,
lot. He doesn't talk to me very
what?
often anymore.
How often have you seen my dad come down here?
Oh, he doesn't come down here. They're both up there.
Oh my goodness. Okay. That's
That's
something
why
I
he doesn't
wasn't
talk to
expecting.
me very often anymore. You know, we kind of like I go up there every now and again, and he kind of like chills with me sometimes. But like normally he's just like go back to doing your stuff, and I'm like okay, you know,
That's unfortunate.
yeah. I miss when we were, friends, all doing the fun stuffs together, getting the living hell kicked out of us, good times.
It's all prepared us for, what's going to happen. And I hope, I really hope Brayril is going as hard on them as we had, because it's pretty.
Oh, trust me, they tend not to leave the area without many bruises. As he likes to say, if you leave this area without any bruises, it means I didn't do my job well enough.
Wow, that's actually pretty good. Good
I've
impression.
been working on it.
Okay. Oh, you should probably get back. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
I have
be
to figure
careful.
out the lock.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm sure it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's fine. Wonder if anyone has killed each other yet. Nah.
Well, go check. Go check. Go check. It's okay. I'm gonna go. I guess. Ah,
Uh,
I don't know. I'm torn. I don't know if I want to go see Brayril and my father or my mother first. I think I'll go to my mother. She's
okay.
really nice, you
Well, you've told me many stories, and she seems like a very nice human.
know? Okay.
Okay, bye bye. He like turns on
Yep,
his heel and just
fine.
kind of starts walking. Uh,
Thanks for the bread.
anytime. I have been playing more. Probably. You
Good
hear
luck.
after like a couple minutes, jink, 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 jink. Got it. As he walks in.
Okay. Well, that's one down. That's one person warned. Hopefully, I don't know. He should remember. He'll remember. Then she'll set off towards her house this time.
Nice. You make your way to the house with very little difficulty. It doesn't seem like anyone's really paying too much attention to you. And you do eventually get into the higher zone, which you do see, yeah, there's like triple the amount of guards that you normally would see in this area. Even though this area is usually pretty guarded, there's like 3 times as many guards as even you're used to seeing. Um, Having been someone who's watched guards her entire life. So it's a little bit unsettling. But thankfully, like the door to your house roughly is like unguarded. There's like a bunch of people just kind of around, but your house itself is not really touched, I guess. I'm
Hmm.
assuming you walk up and knock.
Uh, no, I tried the door. I don't knock first.
Fair
It's
enough.
open.
the
It's my
door
house.
is in fact open.
Eh.
Yeah.
I'll slowly open it.
You slowly
Go
open
see my
it.
mother.
The lights are on. You hear some humming coming from a different room.
Okay, I'm gonna sneak in. No, I'm gonna roll a stealth check just to see.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh. A 27. You are as quiet as a leaf upon the wind.
Good. Shut the door. Walk over to, like, I don't know, kitchen, check the
Mm.
living room, wherever my mom is, and
Uh,
just watch her for a second.
yeah, she's currently inside of the living room. Feel free to describe her if you wish.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Well, she is where Rowena gets her hair. So she has long brown, like chestnut, I guess, wavy hair.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, she's wearing, since, it's a warm day, she's wearing like a sundress,
Mm-hmm.
has a little apron on. She's kind of a housewife type of a human. Um, her hair isn't braided, it's just like straight down, but sometimes she does wear it in braids. And she's not too tall. She's actually like an inch or two shorter than
Oh,
Rowena. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, she's currently just sitting in her chair, just kind of like facing the window, kind of like humming to herself as she's slowly reading a book. A little bit of sunshine that's blocked a little bit by the special windows that y'all have, is kind of like pouring onto her as she's just kind of like reading a book, slowly moving through. You can tell that the song she's singing is an elven lullaby that you used to hear as a child.
Rowena will do a little light knock on the wall,
Oh,
and then in Elvish, be like, "Hi, Mom. I'm home."
she will reply in Elvish as she says, "My dear, it's so good to see you again. I was hoping you would return."
Of course.
I
I
shouldn't
mean,
have had any worry.
I'm one of the best, if not the best.
You were trained well, my dear. What are you doing back here, though, visiting your mother of all things? Have you talked with your father as of yet?
No, not yet. I wanted to come and see you first. I thought maybe we could have like tea and not think about war stuff.
Of course, my dear. She stands up and starts walking to the kitchen. You seem like you have something on your mind. She kind of pats your head, just kind of like moving her hand a little bit up to do so. She like pats your head gently before walking past you. You're always welcome to talk to me about it.
Ah, Mom, I've missed you, man.
Missed you too, my dear.
I feel like I've grown so much older in the time I've been gone, you know?
Time passes very quickly. I can remember like it was just yesterday when you were a wee babby, running around, bonking your head into things, shouting, I am the sneak.
I wasn't that good. I mean, Faye kind of taught me more. I got better. I think what you might be picking up on is that I'm a little confused.
Oh? She starts pouring some of the tea. Well, maybe I can help you clarify. What do you need?
Okay. So there's a lot that I've seen
Mm-hmm.
over these past couple of weeks since the last time I was home. And I know I wasn't home for long last time, but I was just getting ready to leave for this mission.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't I don't think I told you exactly what my mission was.
I
And
don't
I
believe
know
so.
I don't she kind of slips back into comment. I didn't want to tell you because it was I knew it was, you know, dangerous in my subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
But on the surface I was like, yeah, no, I can totally do this. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I went to scout out the orc army.
She saw speak in Orcish, kind of keeping you on your toes. She's like, the orc army, huh? It's been a long time since I have dealt with an orc. Your father keeps me very close at hand.
What what was it like, before you decided to kind of like settle down? What how did you do your job of like bridging the gap, being like the ambassador? I guess what I'm trying to say is like I felt different when I left.
She nods as she hands you a cup of tea, and she sits
Okay,
down. This time in Dwarvish, she responds, and she says, I wasn't born here. In fact, many of the humans weren't. We were brought here. Some of them were, obviously. But a lot of us were brought here by circumstance, usually. But usually a lot of them were like, we get to see adventures, and we get to be around those super powerful and save us. I used to travel the world. Well, not the world, but just this little continent. I went all around the area, from Helios all the way to Cataclysm. Spent a lot of time in Ryota. Fun days. She gives you a smile as she switches to Gnomish. Spent a lot of time in Littlefoot Forest, too. Man, old grumpy man there. He was very grumpy. He was a darling, though.
I think I've met him.
He always tried to impress me, but very vulgar about it. Very fun man. Drank me under a table, and that's saying something. Your mother has a hard streak in her, don't you worry.
I believe it.
But as she switches to common, after a while, I met your father. He had decided to travel a little bit away from the Citadel, and he saw a lot of pain. Not a lot of my travels were good ones. I've fought undead. I've fought all kinds of beasts. I made friends with a small dragon at one point. It was a golden one. Very, very fun fellow. Very childish, though. I wonder what they've been doing. But one of my missions, he was part of the same adventuring guild as I was. And we were tasked with defeating a village, shall we say. In that village, there were a lot of bandits, and a lot of cruelty was happening, and there was a lot of innocents that we couldn't save. Your father saw this, and he decided that the best way to fix this issue was to eradicate all the evils of the world, no matter how hard it may be. Father is a very strong man, but he doesn't really let emotion flow into his way of thinking. Then to his belief, if you destroy the evil, all you're left with is the good. And if the good survives, it creates more good. I saw this pain and suffering and decided I would be better. And I would make everyone I interacted with smile, at least once.
Irina smiles.
If you can make someone smile, then you've done a good deed. Even if some of their life goes badly, even if they encounter troubles that they will not live from, they at least had a brief moment of happiness before then. And that's all you can do. But your father, well, he believes that to get peace in paradise, there's nothing that he will not do to achieve that. It's an admirable goal, honestly. And it's the same goal that our god has, Palor. He believes that if we smite the orcs, we will create paradise on Earth. I'm waiting for a car to go by.
Okay, okay.
Damn, that car is loud. I think it's a bike. Whew. Not sure if you can hear it, but damn.
I cannot.
Unfortunately my mic could. So viewers got to hear a bit. But yeah, she's like, Palor believes, at least from what we've been told by some of the clerics and the High Paladin, that paradise on Earth must be delivered through the sacrifices of others and ourselves. If we wish to see paradise, we must be willing to fight for it and leave all those who are willing to have the paradise left. Which is why the war's been going on for so very, very, very long. Your father is only the most recent chain command, but he has taken up that mantle with a passion. It's one of the reasons why he didn't want you to be in it.
Didn't want me to think the same way he does?
He didn't want you to die.
But I'm ready to make this happen.
I know.
I never... I guess... Maybe it was because I never saw him, or at least not too often.
There is one thing that your father lets his emotions rule him on. And that was you. He held you back for so many years because he was willing to give up anything in his life. But he wasn't really willing to give up you. I don't know if he still thinks that way nowadays, though.
Ravena's hesitating a little, because the next question is gonna be hard to ask. So, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
When you met Dad,
Mm-hmm.
did you guys ever plan to have more kids?
We didn't plan on having you, actually.
Oh. Well, that's news.
Your father's position is difficult. As I'm sure you've seen, the other council members, which is where your father is attempting to get to, they don't have children, nor do they have wives. This is because they took an oath. The only ones that they would be willing to continue their bloodline with are those who are nearly as pure as themselves. Ones who have elven blood, nearly untainted. The only ones who are untainted elven blood would obviously be their siblings, so. But those who are nearly untainted, those who have not dwindled with the likes of me, those are the ones they wish to continue their lines with. Those are the ones that they wish to continue the elven blood. Your father didn't see things that exact same way, so he chose me, and I became his wife. However, because he has decided to, how would you put, muddle his bloodline with one such as I, they have refused him the spot of council on 4 separate occasions.
He's tried 4 times?
Aye. The first time was when I got pregnant with you. We didn't know it at the time, and he was in the running. But in order to be on the council, you have to be made well aware that your bloodline will only continue in a certain way. And they found out I was pregnant with you, and they refused him.
Ruina's just having a little bit of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's looking away, like out a window or something.
Your father, however, was fine with this. For a time. Which is why he set to training you a bit. He believed if he could show them, through some act, that he was good enough to be on their side, then they would allow him on there. So he's tried 3 more times, and every time they told him this is not proof. So nowadays, he is looking to accomplish this feat through nearly any means necessary. This next battle, he's planning on making a spectacle, I think. I'm not sure how. He doesn't know how yet, it seems. But this next battle is where he wants to take that position. So he's planning on doing something. I don't think he even knows yet.
Do you know what's going on right now? Has he been home at all?
Not much. Not much. He's been in his studies, focused on his goal, learning the plans, using your information, actually. He recently was talking about that. Apparently this very buff crow dropped a letter at his desk. He was very confusing. We've never seen him before. We don't really know how he got there. And then he ran into a wall.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I was trying to figure out a way to send information back without having to come back, like, in person.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a little bit of magic, not a lot. So I looked around. I spoke with a crow. I thought he was going to be nicer than he was. I mean, he did eventually come to be understanding of what I needed, and I sent him off with a letter with some information.
I'm glad you made some friends.
Oh, I made more than just friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does someone have their eye on you? Just that
No,
cheeky
no.
little grin at that.
No. I think I met someone who's related to me? Us?
She frowns a little bit at that. Her expression changes a little bit. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
oh, how do you mean?"
So this, and then she shows her shoulder, the mark.
She nods. I is your
Yeah.
father's mark.
Yeah. Right. I met another half elf who has the same mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's just the oh, and then just silence for a moment. Just silence as she kind of shuffles a little bit. She's like,
Yeah. No, we don't have to address it. It's okay.
nah,
We're
it's
just kind of just like messing
fine.
with
I'm amazed he kept her. I'll be honest.
What?
You did mention you had met him. I suppose that
Yes.
should have been a sequence of events I should have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure. I assume you met Grandpappy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't sure that he was gonna keep her? What?
No. When you were pregnant, or sorry, when I was pregnant.
Hey, I didn't know this.
When I was pregnant, it wasn't with just you.
Oh, what? 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 What?
I was having twins.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
This,
Hear me out. I don't like how the Citadel treats us. She kind of gestures to both you and her.
uh-huh.
As you are probably well aware, humans are second class, and half elves are barely above. That's not something I could really tolerate having my children grow up with. But your father is very adamant about the idea that if I were pregnant and then there was no children, it would be really weird. So unfortunately could not get both of you out of here. And I obviously am too ingrained in here to leave. I would probably be hunted down. So we said that whichever was the firstborn would stay. Whichever was the secondborn, we would take outside of the Citadel and hope and pray that they live to better life than what we could possibly offer them here.
Marina's a little bit like just trying to hold everything in right now.
We had hoped you would never have to find out about that, because it's kind of a not pleasant to hear that you've been without your sibling for so long. I understand. But yeah,
Okay.
we thought she was going to be human originally.
No, she's same as me. We're both half elves.
You see some tears starting to well in her eyes as she's like, that's good to hear. Is she okay?
He's great, Mom.
That's good to hear. I'm surprised
And when we
Grandpappy kept
go
her, but
over and hug her,
aw,
you made a good choice. You made a good choice.
I hope so. Grandpappy's not the most pleasant creature. But we knew he would teach her how to survive. If she ever came to find us, that's what she would need to do.
Well, Ramina's really just, holding back tears.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess she didn't need to come and find us. We kind of just stumbled into each other.
The world has a funny way of connecting things.
Yep. Yeah.
Where is she now?
Do you think she's actually going to be on her way in a little bit, I think. depending on
Really?
if she wants to come to the Citadel. Yeah.
See, you see her smile start to just kind of beam in your mother's eyes. And she's like, oh. And then she
Yeah.
realizes you said come to the Citadel, and just it fucking dropped like a rock.
Yeah, that too. Um,
Oh. Hmm.
it's a situation. It
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah.
is.
Sounds like it. I could we could try arranging something with your dad.
Should I tell Dad?
He would want to know.
Okay.
He don't tell him she's a fighter.
Okay. She she fights with a big pan. She's really strong too.
If your father knew she could fight, he would probably try recruiting her.
Mm.
I don't want you to fight in the war. I don't want to
A lot
lose
of
you.
expressions going across her face right now.
It's just like, I don't want to lose you. Every time you go on a mission, I never know if you'll come back.
I will. I always will. Come on. I'm really good at this. It's like the one thing that I'm like really good at. You know? I didn't really ever succeed with like drawing, so I couldn't be an illustrator of like books.
You were good with languages.
That's yeah, but I never really liked politics or translating. I just liked talking. I don't want to talk for someone else. I don't want to talk for myself.
You're always so good at fighting.
Yeah, I was really good at, finding things or people, and I think I was okay at fighting. I think when I went to train is when I got really good.
You always did have a grudge against that fellow. What was his name?
Bray real. Ugh.
Always had such a grudge against him.
It's friendly rivalry. Like I don't hate him, hate him. I would definitely probably save him if I saw a sword coming down at him. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I really don't want to go talk to Dad now.
I know. Your father is a
He's
special kind
definitely
of person.
busy.
He has been very busy, especially with the information you have. The orc encampment being large is something we expected, but it's concerning, to say the least. We have the numbers, but the numbers are,
Untrained.
yeah.
I stopped by. Do you remember Pancake?
Mm-hmm.
Elaine.
He was also such a fine boy. Never treated me weirdly. Always saw me as just a nice fellow.
He's a good guy.
Hmm.
Um, but speaking of, so I did stop by just say hi to Pancake, but I also stopped by because I saw all of the guards. Like there's a lot. Do you know what's going on?
There's rumors going on right now.
I've heard some rumblings even out in
Yeah.
Ryotao.
Um, your father can tell you more about this, but in the slums there has been rumors of a disease spreading.
Oh,
It's been
I
going on for a little bit now. Last couple of months, it's been under wrap. It's just a rumor, but recently someone, how do I put this kindly, exploded.
what? Into like pieces?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a little wild.
The thing is, they did not explode in red. They exploded in blue.
Okay.
But no one showed any signs of anything. They all seemed perfectly fine. And this was only a rumor we heard at that time. We saw the remains, but none of the people. They all quickly left. And we've been hearing a couple more rumors lately of some spontaneous combustion. And we're concerned that it's a disease spreading. One we don't know how to cure. And one we have great difficulty in finding who is infected. So no one from the slums is allowed to come up here, obviously, and no one from the lower areas is allowed to come up here either, with few exceptions.
And I suppose you haven't been down there either?
No, I
Okay,
haven't
good.
left here for years now. Your father keeps me very close at hand. Everybody's gone through a screening process as they move from one area to another, with very few exceptions. Primarily those coming to speak to some of the higher ups here. The nobles are all screened. All the guards that go to the nobles are screened, and then, well, they don't leave. Ever.
I
So,
wasn't. I got through fine.
yeah, that's primarily because you came from outside.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And you didn't go into any houses or interact with any person. At least from what we were told.
I this is part of the thing that confuses me. I guess more than finding out I am an older sister. How older?
10 minutes.
Minute.
Just enough time to get people out of the room.
Um. Okay. Right.
You feel like she's about to say something, but then she like kind of like stops herself and is just kind of listening.
So while I was, of course, traveling, I was traveling with a couple of people. One of them being, my sister. Did you name her?
We did not. We left that up
You.
to our friend, Grampy. He said he'd give her a good name. Fantastic name.
Do you want to know it, or do you want to wait until she comes here? I can bring her here and she can tell you.
I think I would like to know her name when she says it.
Okay. Well, I was traveling with my younger sister, and um, at first there were three of us, and the third one I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to, you know, end his life. Mhm.
Seems
Mhm.
like a
Yep.
common trait of yours.
It's not too common. Like, I didn't want to kill Brayril. I just, kind of want to be.
First time
Oh
you met him, I'm fairly certain. If it wasn't a wooden dagger, you know?
no, I just wanted to beat him to a pulp, so he knew that I was better. You know. Anyway,
Go
anyway,
on.
the third person I was mostly traveling with, or I guess the second in our three-person group at first, was a tiefling. Why is it so hard for me to say that?
Impressive. I didn't know tieflings were still on this continent. How did you
Yeah,
find one?
he kind of found me. He almost set me on fire.
I'm not surprised about that. They tend to have not the best moods based on how they're treated.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with him. He throws these pebbles or something.
Throws
They're
pebbles.
yeah, I don't know.
Fascinating.
And they're on fire. And at first I thought he was aiming at me, but to tell you the truth, even though I keep saying that he was aiming at me, I know he was probably aiming for the person in front of me.
Sometimes it's difficult to go against what you were raised by.
I I still don't know if I trust him though. Like I don't know if I don't know if I was raised wrong, I do think they're bad. When I was looking at the orc encampment to get like a number or an estimation of how many were there, I saw an actual necromancer. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, are you okay?
It was terrifying.
She
I
kind of like gently squeezes your hand.
I don't like that memory, not in the least. Um, but I know that I need to put an arrow through them. I need to.
I think you have to get a little bit stronger for that, my dear.
I mean, I've gotten a little bit stronger. She kind of pats her biceps a little.
As I can imagine. Necromancers are difficult opponents. They very rarely ever tend to play fair, although they never lie. I've met a couple on my journeys. Never in good situations, never in good moments. But they have never once told me a lie. One of them actually helped me. Nearly killed
What?
me afterwards, but he helped me.
I'll need to hear that at some point. But,
It's a long story. He was my
Marina
traveling
looks
partner for
upset.
a while, actually. She says like a smirk on her face, just like, oh yeah.
Uh, okay, okay. Yeah, this is definitely something that I will want to hear, but at a different time. I think it's how long have we been talking? Have I been like walking around the citadel?
You've
Is it
probably been
about
walking for a
20 minutes?
couple hours. It's probably been like 20 or so minutes that you've been in this house.
Okay. Maybe we should have some dinner, do you think?
Have you eaten today?
Honestly, no. I wanted to get home. Oh, Pancake gave me some bread. She
No.
takes out the loaf.
Yeah, I'll get dinner started. You continue with your stories. I know how much you love talking about them.
Okay, well, let me tell you, we were fighting. Oh, before I left, right before I left, let's go backwards. I was fighting this. Well, I guess it wasn't just me, it was my sister as well, and the tiefling. And then, oh, I didn't tell you, this other person we were traveling with, he's kind of different. He's a human. Uh,
As am
I think
I.
Yeah, but he's like sing-songy, you know?
You met a bard, did you? The travels
Yeah.
you'll have.
He's he's weird. There's no doubt about it. But mm, there was this town, and then she goes into
Mm-hmm.
the story of the
And your
fight and
mother
stuff.
listens with rapt attention, just like making dinner, just kind of like mimicking some of the motions and shit. It's just a good time for however long you tell the
And it's
story.
flying.
The big monster with a big sword, which she says in Orcish, actually.
Yes. I don't
Alright.
really have any other accents down for the different languages or unit notes other than common, which is just regular, and then or
Mhm.
other than
She
and
eventually finishes the dinner, and y'all finish your story, and y'all have eaten well. She just kind of smiles at you.
I mean, for just being gone for this long, it feels like I've grown so much, you know?
You certainly have. You've explored, you've seen other sights, viewed other worlds. It's one of the reasons why I did not want you to grow up here.
I mean, I know I was pretty much set in my ways when I left, and I'm still not sure that I'm completely not still in them. But, meeting Big Mama,
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with the tiefling. She never called him Oliver, by the
Mm-hmm.
way, during any of the stories. It was just the tiefling. Ugh, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be able to really trust an orc.
Well, I can't tell you what you can and cannot think. I cannot tell you how to change your whole point of view. All I can tell you is that if they are willing to die for you, they are someone you should put your trust in. No matter if you hate them, if you can't feel like you can trust them, if they put their life on the line to save yours, they're someone you should keep next to you. That's how I tell whether or not someone is a good person, is whether or not they are willing to leave someone to die. And if the answer is no, then I think they're a good person.
Hmm. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Do you think Dad can wait until tomorrow?
I'm sure he can.
Okay, good, because I'm exhausted. I've been going since like that fight. I'm tired.
We keep your room the same way it's always been, just upstairs.
Okay then. It's been a long time since I've been able to say this, but I'll see you in the morning, Mom.
I'll see you. Would you like me to have your father come in the morning when you wake up?
Yeah, let's just get it over with. Let's do
Okay,
that.
dear. You have a good rest, and you try to think of the amazing adventures that you may have in the future, of the people and the darling music that you may listen to, the species you may learn about. The endless possibilities are in front of you, my dear. Hold on to that.
And my sister.
And your sister. You'll be able to go on wonderful journeys with her. Remember, Rowena, the greatest thing that you can experience in this life is not the result of what you do, is the journey that you take and who you take it with. You see her kind of look a little bit sad at that statement.
I'll see you in the morning.
She nods as you head off. The night passes with fairly decent ease. It cools down just a little bit around 10 or so, going down to like a chill about 85 or so. Well, chill for you. And changes around 4 or 5 o'clock or so, goes back up to about 90. It's a little bit cooler in the house, just generally speaking, just to make things a little bit nicer for the folks in there. But pretty much everyone is regulated to a hotter climate. And so you eventually wake up, you head downstairs, and you hear not arguing per se, but not the nicest conversation. You hear your mother, oh, sorry, right. Sorry, meant to say your name was Sarah.
It's all good.
But you hear your mother kind of saying, like, stuff similar to, try not to go too hard on her. She just came back. She's trying her best. She's been through a lot. Don't be like you usually are. And you hear a little bit deeper voice. A little bit. I'll actually move this scene to a slightly different one. Where is? There it is. This one. There you are.
It's home.
Yeah, fairly nice home. We'll say this is the entrance to the room, I guess. And then you'll be right there. You're just kind of coming in. I won't have a picture of the mother. But yeah, so the father, or sorry, what was his name? Amar.
We fought that thing. No.
Hey, punched the father in the face. Anyways, Amar says in a fairly low and, as you very distinctly remember, fairly cold tone. She is a soldier. She chose this path. She will deal with whatever I give her. Mother simply kind of like walks out of the room, and you see, she sees you, and she's like, "Oh, Sarah, hi. Sorry. Didn't realize you were awake yet."
Just like kind of hush voice, you know. She kind of makes that patting down motion, like shh. I don't really want him to know just yet that I'm here.
You'll be fine. Go and talk to him.
Do you think? No, I'll ask later. Okay, here we go. She goes in.
You see him sitting there. He is not a very particularly large stature. I imagine he's like 6'10". Oh, sorry, 5'10" or so. So fairly tall, roughly, but kind of like he's what you would define as like a politician stature. He has a presence, and that presence is known. But he's not particularly fearsome, as he just kind of like looks up at you and he's like, "Sarabelle."
Quick question, Sin. What was his rank again?
He is, oh, I feel like I gave him a specific rank. Was it lieutenant?
It might be in my journal. Hold on.
Might have been lieutenant. I'm not too
Commander.
certain.
There
Commander?
we go.
Yeah. So you
It's
would
his
probably
letter.
call him Commander.
Yeah. Amanda? In common.
He nods. Probably Lieutenant General would be his proper name, but Commander would be what you heard him. He's like, I hear you have news for me.
I didn't want to send it in a letter. I wanted to say it.
Smart.
I thought that you should know that there might be a...
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna roll deception real quick.
Okay.
Okay.
Damn.
Okay. uh, resistance coming in from the outside of
From the
citadel.
outside.
Yes! That's me. That's me. I'm having a hard time lying to him.
That makes things complicated.
How
Where'd you hear
so?
about this information?
Well, as you know, my mission is to head over and see what I could see with
Aye.
the army. Was he going to say something? Sorry.
No, you just said I.
And while on this mission, I came across a band of resistance in the Cataclysm as well.
If they're that far, they won't be too difficult.
No, but while I was in that encampment town, I don't know what would be a proper name for it, I heard that there were some in the slums that were disgruntled with how Citadel is being run. And so they, in order to gather, I guess, more people and come up with some sort of plan.
Yeah, that fits very similarly to some of the information we've been getting from the slums. Down there has been difficult, to say the least, as of the last couple of months. They keep scouring off, and the few intel sources we have down there are lackluster, shall we say. What was her name?
A?
Yeah. Cryphalin?
Yeah, Cryphaean.
Yeah. Scout Cryphalin has not returned in the last couple of days. She should have been back up and reporting to me yesterday. She did not. As have many of our recruits down there. As you can imagine, this is putting a strain on our resources.
I can imagine, yes.
Has your mother informed you about any of the going-ons down below?
She did say that there was a sickness that might be spreading.
We have currently only witnesses, no confirmed or hard knowledge. A few months ago, there was a person running around the slums, screaming. From what we've told before that point, he had started to push people away, started to be quiet, started to, well, be one of the slums. You know how they are. But in that period of time, for a day, possibly longer, maybe a week, the witnesses were inaccurate, to say the least. He was running around screaming in people's faces, punching them, ripping his own skin, and slamming into people. And then he exploded.
Do you know, did the witnesses know if he exploded from something impacting him or them? Or
No.
was it internal?
He fell down and he went pop. His body swelled like a balloon and simply exploded. What we've been told, before this point, he had developed blue boils across his skin. He seemed fine for months, and then for a week, boils upon his skin. No one paid it too much mind until he started screaming.
Do we know if it's contagious?
Considering there's been 3 explosions in the last 5 days. Yes.
Do we know how it spreads?
No. Nor do we know who's infected. Nor do we know the incubation time. It is most likely that it spent the last 3 months to 4 months inside of a person, and then spent a week festering. However, all witnesses that we have, which is very few, are very varied about the time. They don't know exactly how many, they don't know where, they don't know when, they don't know what happened.
I don't know how
They
they get
don't know
infected.
how. But if he did infect them by exploding, and we didn't catch all of them, then the entirety of the slums is under threat. Which means that I'm going to quarantine the entire slums and everyone inside.
Makes sense. That's a good call. Not that you need to hear it from me.
There are only 2 people who will be allowed to go down and out.
Which would be?
Cryphalin and you. I want you to find her. I want you to find out what this contagion is. I want you to understand how it spreads. And I want you to report back to me. If this is a fast contagion, everyone down there is dead. If it's a slow contagion, we can heal some. But there are orcs down there, goblins and other races of frankly disgusting ideals. Do not interact with them.
Crinkles her nose.
And if they're infected, leave them to die.
Understood. Where was Cryphaean last seen?
We don't know. She was down in the slums. We sent her through the entrance. Told her to find out what information she can, report back in a week. That was yesterday. She could be anywhere in the entirety of the slums. She could have been stabbed. She could have been mauled. She could have interacted with sewer rats and goblins. We do not know.
I would never do that.
If she is infected, well, here's hoping that it can be cured. I'll be placing that quarantine up later today.
Okay.
You have something you wish to say?
Really? Permission to speak freely?
Permission granted. Speak.
What if there was someone that I met on my travels that I thought might be able to help.
Good. If you can get him to help you understand the cause of this disease, fantastic. Understand it, find out its incubation period, find out how it spreads, and report back to me. Whether your friend survives or not, that's up to you.
Would you accept him coming into her home?
He raises his
Even if he's
eyebrow.
not elf? Even if he's not the elf or half elf?
What race is he?
This is me, I'm not acting. Mm. And I'm going to make a. Yeah, what does he look like? Does he look like he's really intense right now?
He looks like
Right?
he's intrigued, and considering your silence, concerned.
I mean, it's not that long of a silence. Except for that
Mhm.
first one. The first one was kind of a hesitation because she wasn't sure how to phrase it.
So he just has his eyebrow raised, waiting for you. He kind of like puts his hands together and leans forwards.
Well, I can tell you he's not an elf and he's not a half elf. So I think maybe it would be a little hard to get him to come up here and talk with you, but I feel like he has some information that would be valuable.
He kind of like closes his eyes for a second and just kind of rubs his head. And he grabs essentially a quill next to him, pulls out a small scrap paper, and writes down something before folding up and pretty much just tossing it to you.
Ooh, 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 I catch it.
That's a meeting spot. I will be there tomorrow at exactly 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
You and your
okay.
friend are not there at that exact point in time. You will not find me there. Understood?
She, kind of stands up straight, says, "Yes, sir."
God damn, these cars are very loud today. Louder than my own, like my microphone volume when I'm speaking is the same amount as when the cars are going. I'm just like, Jesus. Yeah, he just kind of like looks at you and he's like, was there anything else?
One more thing that is more personal.
Speak.
Are you happy with what I've done so far?
He kind of just like leans back in his chair and he simply states, you're one of the most effective soldiers that I've had in over 10 years. You survived a mission which, frankly, was a suicide mission. The chances of you surviving that mission was very near zero. You've done far beyond what I, and particularly the Council, ever expected you to be able to. You are indeed fit for this position, more than I ever thought you would be able to. Well done.
Do you think I would be capable of being promoted?
He raises his eyebrow. Promoted.
It doesn't need to happen now. I was just kind of wondering.
He kind of chuckles softly. Just kind of like shakes his head softly before looking up at you. You are certainly my daughter. Complete this mission. Get Cryphalin back. Alive or dead. Just proof that she completed her mission. And give me information on this disease. And I'll get you a promotion. You'll be a captain.
Yay! Okay. She switches into Elvish there.
If there's nothing else,
Nothing from me.
then you may go.
Sir, yes, sir. And she turns around and walks out. But when she passes the doorway, you could kind of see her do a little skip off to like the side.
He just kind of shakes his head softly, and you can feel the briefest moment of a small smirk hit his face.
Captain, captain, captain. Woo!
You see your mother just kind of standing there with a small smile on her face. Told you.
Rowena kind of gets a little close to her, whispers, I couldn't tell him about my sister, so I don't know what to do.
Some things take time. Bring her to that meeting.
Don't tell him and bring, okay, yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Information is information. And you currently hold some over him. Isn't that fascinating?
I kind of feel like, I mean, it's not that great of a feeling, but I kind of feel like I'm playing both sides.
Well, you have not figured out where you want to sit yet. So test both sides. Find out which suits you better. His goals are not yours, nor are mine. Yours are. Continue what you wish to do, and find out where you stand. Only then do you make the right decision. Because only then do you know what you feel is right.
I feel like this next mission is definitely going to be something of a doozy as well.
Before you go, I have a couple things for you. From my old adventuring days.
Oh, really?
She heads up into her room, walking up the stairs. Do you follow?
Yes. Yes.
As you walk up the stairs, she's just kind of smiling in you would call it a regal posture of sorts, just kind of like hands behind her back, walking with specific calculated steps and all that. Something she's done probably for more years than you can count before she gets to her room, opens up. It's a semi-plain room. There's pictures of you all over the area, of your friends, and one of her and your father and you. And she walks in and she kind of like moves to a chest in front of her bed, and she opens it. And inside you see a wonderful outfit. It looks like almost a woodland outfit, one that you would wear when going through the woods, through the area. She just kind of like grabs it and like holds it open. It has a hood on it. It's like semi-camouflaged, and it flows really nicely. I used to wear this back when I was traveling back in your days. I don't know if it would actually fit you. She kind of shrugs.
I'm sure I could get it fitted if it won't.
She kind of hands it to you, and she's like, I will not be needing it, trust me. And she reaches in, and she's like, now the two things I actually did want to give to you She pulls out one, and it's a set of bracers. It's basically the arm clasps, essentially. And she
Yep,
hands
yep.
them to you. These
Ah,
are specially made. Put them on.
okay. Just tugs them on, tightens them up.
As you tighten them up, you notice that there are blades right on your around the bottom of your forearm.
Almost straight up assassin.
Oh yeah. She's like, I used to blend in the shadows a lot. This cloak is really good for that, especially in the forests. Not nearly as good as you are currently, but this was one of my weapons of choice. Uh, you just have to flex your wrist, and it'll pop out.
Okay.
It is very good
We're
for
gonna
fighting
try
in.
it real quick.
As you do, it just kind of pops out. It pops out probably a little bit past the distance of your fist. So if your hand was fully open, it would probably touch your middle finger. So it will sink a pretty good way into somebody, especially if you like move your hand backwards. And it makes absolutely no sound as it does so. It just slides out. Same with the other arm. And she hands you a small can. Be sure to oil it up every now and again. That's how you make it pristine.
You use these, Mom?
Mm-hmm. I went
Oh,
on many
goodness.
missions like you have. I was the rogue of the party.
No way.
Yeah. My barbarian friend was one of my best friends. He, didn't know how to stay down. So I would often stab those who were behind him.
Mm, makes
But
sense. Makes sense.
my pride and joy is this. She reaches down and, from like the bottom of the chest, pulls out a small, a small box and hands it to you. It's almost the size of a dagger.
Okay. I'll take it and I'll creak it open.
Inside, you see a very, very thin, what looks like shimmering metal. And it looks like it has a pointed tip. The tip looks sharp as fuck, by the way. But there's no handle. There's no it's not a dagger, it's just a thin, long, elongated piece of metal with a very sharp tip.
Huh. Is it safe to just pick up?
She smiles at you and whistles a very specific tune. Um, as she whistles, she's like, and it floats upwards. And it moves behind her ear. This is technically an arrow. Technically. You notice it has a small arrowhead at the tip. That is the very sharp bit. But it works with special kind of magic. As she kind of like grabs it from behind your ear and holds it out to you, you notice it stops shimmering slightly. All you have to do is whistle. And make sure that your target is the one you're thinking of. Or wherever you're thinking of. Where you are thinking of, it will fly to. However, it's not the easiest thing to control. If you cannot control it, it will simply fly back to your hand and become dormant once again.
Okay.
It takes a little bit to charge up after it becomes dormant, but until then, you can use it however you like. I use this on more occasions than I can count. It's a very good tool, but it's very dangerous if they follow where it's going when it comes back.
It seems very useful. I will definitely be using it.
I'm glad you have found what you cherish. You've done well.
I think Dad's kind of proud of me.
We both are. Now you have a mission to go to, don't you? And they'll be closing up the area soon. At this time, if I recall correctly, they were inside of the bar about 7 o'clock. So it's probably about 6 o'clock your time. AM.
Okay. So 7 o'clock p.m.
7 o'clock a.m. is when they got into the bar. You technically said you would meet them at nighttime
Yeah.
when they got there. So your technical meetup time would be 7 o'clock, well, more or less 7 o'clock p.m. at the front of the gates, is when you said you would meet up with them.
Okay.
So you have like a good 13 hours before you have to go to the front of the gates to meet up with your party. Assuming that they got there that day and you don't have to wait any.
I am going to. Oh, I'm gonna real quick retcon something because I did say I was gonna be there every evening. Last evening before I went to bed, after supper, I went out and I waited for a little bit before
Fair.
I went to bed.
Yeah, that works.
But
Okay.
other than that, I'm going to. I'm trying to decide whether to go and do a little bit of just asking around, a little bit of finding out, or to go find Bray Roll. um,
Unfortunately, I do have to go and make dinner. So unfortunately, won't be
okay.
able to do Bray Roll, but we can't get you down to the slums. We can have you say you met Bray Roll and then do a little bit of that talk next full session.
You know what?
If that
This is
works.
what I'll do. This is what I'll do. I will have her spend a little time just like scouting out where he is, watch him for a little while, try and like pick up on his tactics so that next time if they spar, she knows some of his tricks because she's
Smart.
sneaky. He doesn't know. And then she will go and
To the slums.
yeah, to the slums.
Nice. As you're heading down to the slums, and obviously it's this road that leads. Whoops, did not mean to do that one. Scroll down, please. There we go. All the way down here. You do see the big hole in the wall, and you do see several guards kind of walking to the area and starting to pull up little quarantine wards. Essentially, they are almost barricades, pretty large ones, pretty hefty ones. Essentially, they're about to fit a giant metal door over the opening as they're quarantined, as you're walking up. Like, Rowena.
Hello. I'll be heading through here in a little bit. I need to gather up some people for my mission, as I'm sure you all know.
He nods. We're getting orders to let you in specifically and to let you out only. Therefore, when you come out, be sure to do a 5-knock sequence.
Oh
He then
goodness. Okay.
demonstrates for you. If you do not make that knock, we will not let you out.
Understood. So, I don't know they're already in the slums.
You do not know. But you do see, as you walk in, and I'll actually move to the slums, the Undercity real quick. There we go. So this is roughly what it looks like. very large. From the base of the slums, there's probably 100-foot gap. And by the way, you're like at the base of the mountain. This goes below the mountain all the way to the top of where you saw earlier. So it's like a good 200-foot gap between the bottom of the slums and the top. And many of these structures go from the top to the bottom. They're massive. But you do see as you walk in, and by the way, at the very bottom, there's a weird gas. Probably bottom 50 feet, maybe bottom 100 feet or so. So a little bit ways down below you, there's a gas that's radiating down there. I'll probably figure out what more to define it as in the next episode, but you would not know what is. But you've heard rumors of it, and the gas is not fun from what you've heard. But to your right, you do see a wagon, and you also hear a very familiar tune.
Oh no.
Yes, you remember the tune that your sweet bard plays with his pan flutes, because he has one of the only pan flutes in the country. However, you also hear bagpipes.
What? Huh.
Is from a tavern just a little bit away from you. You do see a cart with a what looks to be ox just kind of standing there, seemingly eating and waiting, as well as several people walking into the bar, leaving the bar. It's a pretty active bar.
Well, here's the thing. I hear Shaky playing. I recognize it. And while I do love my party, I'm not gonna lie, Faye is my like, and she's my
Roll
first
me
friend.
perception.
I want to see if I can find at least a little bit about her before I start. Perception. No!
Ooh, roll me with advantage because of your vantage height.
This is still not good. No. I get one per session, right?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, I'm succeeding.
All
I don't
right,
know what
cool.
it was that I need to hit.
Funny enough, this is the exact same thing. Oliver did the exact same thing. You see through the mists as the music's playing, and you know your party's in there, or at least Shaky's in there. You don't know if the rest of your party's in there, but you know Shaky's in there. You're looking around the area, and the corner of your eye, you see a tiefling tail running through the streets.
Is it a familiar color?
Mm-hmm. It's unmistakably Oliver's tail. Unless there's another red tiefling that's down here, but considering the rarity of the tieflings, that's unlikely.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to find at least something about Faye before I head in.
Yeah, so far you are not seeing anything that might direct you to Faye. Most of the areas around you look like fantastic spots for rogues to be because they are obscenely high off the ground. But that is about it.
To the tiefling.
I'll go and find Oliver.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
mean, as long as my party is chilling in the, I was gonna say club, but like bar, you know.
It's a good thing you aren't going to be around there for the next 15 minutes.
Like as long as they're good and they're in there, and I know that they're probably being okay. I want to make sure that the freaking tiefling doesn't get himself killed
Yeah,
because I need him.
you've also never seen Oliver separate from the party. In fact, he's gone out of his way to be next to the party at nearly all times, except for when he wanted to be outside of Littlefoot because he didn't want to disguise himself. But you've
I
never
mean,
seen him actively away.
I suppose I don't 100% know everyone is in
You do not know.
either. But one way or another.
Yep. So you want to head
I
to
know Faye
Oliver.
is probably not going into the tavern. She's out here doing rogue stuff. So,
Yep, and your tiefling is separated, it looks like,
yeah,
in
trying to do
possibly an infectious and dangerous area.
yes, and I need to keep him safe because I said my father that I have someone who knows stuff.
Yep.
So,
So next
there we
episode,
go.
huh?
So, there we go. I've made my choice.
So next episode, send help.
That's the next episode.
So next episode, which is going to be 1 week from today on Friday at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. PST, we are going to be seeing what is going to happen with Oliver. For Oliver was chasing an infected person. And now we have the rogue, who's also very good at finding people, chasing the tiefling, chasing a person, and all three of that matches up with what she needs to learn. And then on the other hand, we have the bard, the other bard, the child, who's not a child, and the mother of the group desperately trying not to kill someone. As the sweet 2'2" Kenku bard walks up to a 6 foot tall orc and does something. Hopefully you guys all enjoy, and we will see all of you fine folks on the next episode. Thank you for joining me, Ruina. Bye.